Good afternoon. I'm braving the heat in my meditation / studio this afternoon because I felt that it was important. It was timely for me to say what I have to say. After close to 40 years of following a rigorous Rinzai Zen tradition and practice, although invaluable, the combination in Rinzai Zen of a martial arts, using the dojo, practicing the martial arts, in addition to the meditation room, made a lot of sense to me. And in this tradition, the Roshi of your local meditation / martial arts training center, who knows you, suggests an arena, an area of a particular martial arts matching or in the hopes of providing that which you need to nurture. We had Kyushu, the archery, that's what I wanted. I thought it was important to focus because I was always this way. So I like Kyushu, archery. And I always thought, gee, kendo, hitting somebody with a stick. Judo, just the physical mastery of the body. But lo and behold, my Roshi would tell me when we're dividing up in the dojo, we wore white gis with a white belt because there wasn't any, it didn't really support the hierarchy of a different color, giving you some sense of egoic satisfaction as accomplishment. You weren't measured against the other. Everyone was equal. White gi, white belt. No matter your years of training or your level of expertise. The Roshi himself wore white gi and a white belt. And I have to say that this was one of the things that really attracted me to this group, because they didn't want to distinguish, even though they had the Roshi and the practitioners. There was some hierarchy there, but really not much when you take a look at everything else. And he would say to me week after week, you walk. And there was a line on the edge of one of the rooms. And when he said walk, he talked about the Zen walk. One foot carefully, mindfully in front of the other. And I did this for months, impatiently most of the times, or waiting until I would go do something more fun, not so mundane as just walk. But the Roshi never went into detail with me, never explained anything. It was almost a year of walking. And the funny thing about my nature, I did okay when left to my own devices. But when the Roshi would start checking out, when he'd start watching me, I encountered nothing but problems. I just couldn't do it. Sorry, I'm multitasking. I don't like it when my screensaver comes on and I can't see the image as I'm talking to you. I thought I said it, but apparently I didn't. So that's what I was fumbling around doing and trying to keep the conversation, to keep the line of the conversation going. So after about a year, he finally told me that the walk was the Zen walk was the foundation of all martial arts. He told me that when you master the walk, that you could walk through a crowd, and not only would they almost mystically or magically, unknowingly make way for you, you were unseen, invisible. It's if he's reading my mail. He wanted to, if anyone wanted to tempt me to study anything, the promise of being invisible, characteristic that I've always sought. I'd rather be invisible than noticed. I'd always rather be behind the scenes than noticed. And it's only in the 69th to 70th year that I started making these videos, these teachings, these sharings, I think is the word I like the best, where I was front and center. This is a very recent occurrence in my life. And the few times that I had been thrust in the limelight, I noticed that I handled it quite well. But my preference was always to be unnoticed, unknown, unseen, unheard. So all of a sudden I went into this Zen walk with a lot more enthusiasm. But I have to share with you that after 2 or 3 years, I still couldn't accomplish this in any kind of satisfactory manner when the Roshi was watching. And he knew and he laughed. But in the meditation room, we were taught that meditation is supposed to be like a battle, like going to war. It's none of this la-di-da-di-da-di stuff. You're supposed to sweat. Rigorous effort in everything that you do. Well, eventually, probably the aging process as much as anything else, because I had stubbornly adhered to the rigors of my Zen practice. And I got to a point where I just gave up. And that's where Zen with a Smile comes from. Letting go. And it wasn't until I let go, it wasn't until fairly recently this process of just saying, so what? Letting go of 30 years of being a vegetarian, 30 years of practicing fasting, discipline, denial, all let go. And what a relief. Not only a personal relief, a relief to me, but a relief to everyone around me. They said, man, what have you done? You've really lightened up. Because I found myself in a perpetual state of anger. Sometimes the anger was overt, but it was always present. Those that knew me behind the smile was an anger. And it's only by letting go. Now my search till I found Zen, I practiced Hinduism, Sufism, Jainism, Zoroastrianism, all the isms. And never joined a group because it wasn't in my nature to join. I always knew somehow that was through our own devices, that we might be fortunate enough to have a teacher, a Roshi, a Sifu, to point the way. But I knew that that's all they could do. They could set an example and point the way. So this lightening up, just as I say it, I feel my shoulders relax. And when I was deeply committed to Zen, I saw some disquieting things about the hierarchy. Not the practice itself, but the entrapments. Mankind, humankind, sorry ladies, this should be inclusive, not exclusive. Humankind always wants to build a hierarchy. We have schisms when people disagree. That old axiom about agreeing to disagree does not seem to be very universal. And that's really a shame. So I spent some time with Tibetan Buddhism. But then I found out there's at least 4 major schools with a lot of minor schools and other, divisions and all the things that seem under scrutiny not to be Zen-like, at least what I consider Zen-like. The schisms, the disagreements, the jealousies, these are ailments of structure, be it political, social, economic. It's our nature to divide, to separate. Not our true nature, I must insist, must remind us, but our adopted, false, Maya-bound, Maya-sourced, illusion-supported concepts of behavior. So even within my Renzai Zen, when I went to Japan and spent 3 years in Japan, the hierarchy was even more pronounced. And this just did not seem to be in the spirit of my perhaps limited understanding of Zen. So as I relaxed and I let go, started eating chicken, ended up shedding 30 to 40 kilos in the first year of eating what my body wanted. My body wanted limited chicken, some dairy, fats, eggs are critical, and until I adopted this lifestyle. Instead, I started really listening to my body, because my Zen rigorous training, in my mind, meant ignore your body. Don't listen to your body, because your body is only what's not so. And guess what? I found the secrets to everything lie in this body that I spent so many years ignoring, simply ignoring, at great cost to myself. I had heart surgery 6.5 years ago. I had my aortic valve replaced. I had a single bypass at the same time. 30 years of a vegetarian, I still needed a bypass. And perhaps this was really what prompted me to let go, to give up trying to control essentially the uncontrollable, and accepting. It makes me smile just how liberating this experience was. And as I let go of dietary requirements, meditation, I wasn't so concerned how straight I am. I don't have a very good posture. I couldn't sit on the floor anymore. It just was too far to get up. Started meditating in a chair, both arms up. Some effort to keep the back straight. But the key was effortlessness. The key was relaxing into what I was. And I always, in my strictest Zen practice, I always had room for other means of liberation, other people's ideas. Hinduism had many things that resonated with me, and I was able to retain them, but still my practice was austere Zen. As I relaxed, I wasn't so concerned about what was Zen and what wasn't Zen. I was more attentive to listening to my body and letting it tell me. The wisdom in my body far surpassed any wisdom that I thought had accumulated in my mind. In fact, now I know that wisdom, ideas, thoughts, knowledge, culminating in wisdom, is stored somewhere else instead of the cranium. It's not up here, it's spread all out, but maybe the main library, maybe my librarian, the one who accesses information. Because everything I know, I will know, and I have known is available. I want to say immediately, but that's not quite so. Because what I've learned is I know what I need to know when I need to know it. How peace is that? So this whole idea, Zen with a smile, I'm not adhering to the rigorous Zen. I will talk about things that aren't considered very Zen, soul, spirit guides. I won't bore you with the list, but I decided to become inclusive instead of exclusive. I noticed that my friend, my internet Facebook friend, and brother in spirit, brother in search, Dennis Harris, has been going through some transition. He had something, White Clouds, Black Mountain, a Zen group, and then for whatever his reasons, he started a group, started again, because groups get unwieldy, hard to monitor. And then he started just recently whispering Pines Zen. And now he started, just recently I noticed, a new group. And I believe, Dennis, pardon me if I'm wrong, a path for the soul. He's realizing that he too wants to be inclusive in the spirit of things, rather than being pedantic, rather than being rigorous. Lighten up. It's only life. Lighten up. It's only your life. There has to be room to smile. There has to be room to laugh. Dennis posted something that I really liked. Everything's okay. And I laughed and said, unless it's not. And I agree, even when it's not okay, that indeed is okay. I don't know if I can share the beauty of this letting go. My brother who's lived apart from me, my blood brother, who's lived apart from me the last 30 years. And I laugh to myself because I'm breaking him in slowly to what and who I am. Because to me, I'm still his big brother, and that's a beautiful thing. But little bit by little bit is he becoming aware of who I am, who I've become. And he's right there with me. But I have to remember to smile and go slow. So there's times when he has a cursory understanding of Zen, getting better, but he'll say something to me like, that's not a very Zen-like thing. And this comes from misperception, misunderstanding of what Zen is. There is a time for emotions. As long as we're in this human body, we'll experience anger, we'll experience depression. Hopefully, we won't experience jealousy, greed, selfishness, self-centeredness. But the entire, my mind is searching for the word, sphere of emotions There's times when circumstances make us very happy. There's times when circumstances make us less than happy. But what's important here is maintaining your equanimity. Knowing and accepting that all things change and that you will go through ups and downs. But what you learn to do is not to identify with your happiness or your sadness or your anger or your depression. Whatever part of the gamut of emotional turmoil exists for us. It's all about responding. So, I'm for expansion. I'm all about including everyone and everything into our spiritual evolution, our remembering of the condition from whence we came, the condition that we abide in forever. Inclusive, not exclusive. So Dennis, I'm happy that you're experimenting with including more. And many of you know my Chinese is Hai Yang, and if you look at the characters, Hai means ocean. Mai Yang means gentle breeze blowing over the ocean. And I've embraced my Chinese name. But my given name is Dennis Hayes. And somewhere along the line I became Zen Den. Zen Den. But what's important here is this name. This is the first episode of my sharing I've called Zen With A Smile, because I think it's time, even though early on I started to explain where this name came from. And this name is a parody on myself, because I look like Damo, Milafo, with the scowl always on his face, compared to Milafo, what we call the happy Buddha, with the smile. But as I came closer to knowing these two Buddhas, I have to say, don't judge a book by its cover. Milafo, despite his smile, is strict and firm and demanding behind his physical presence. Whereas Dhammo, Bodhidharma, with the scowl, is gentle and kind and smiling and forgiving. So, but I'm one, my face, for better or worse, expresses exactly what's going on inside. I have no poker face. I'm not good at bluffing. Never have been. So what you see is what you get. So this Zen with a Smile was poking fun at myself. One of my favorite activities. And I recommend those that take themselves too seriously to lighten up and laugh at themselves, because we're really hilarious. Nothing is funnier than a serious fellow. A person who takes himself so seriously. His practice, his training, his relationship, his diet, his everything is taken so seriously. Now, when I sweat, it's not from the rigor of my meditation. It's because this room is hot. So I'm just sharing. I have no should have, would have, could have. The conditional tense has not and will not and does not exist within my being. Should have, would have. I could have done it differently, sure, but I didn't. There's no denying that. So what to do? Lighten up, let go, forgive. I would say forget, but forgetting is too inclusive. There's a lot of good that comes with forgetting. There's a lot of good within remembering. So I think just forgive, beginning with yourself. Life is not that serious. Life is about a smile that reaches your eyes. Because when you see a smile that reaches the eyes, when the eyes are smiling, there's no lies involved. There's only sincerity, honesty, a willingness, most importantly, to say, I don't know. When you don't know, no shame in that. In fact, by the nature of the universe, there's always going to be infinitely more than we don't know than what we can ever know. And you know what? That's okay. So breathe. Be in the present moment. Do the best that you can at any given time. Forgive yourself when you've done less than what could be your best. I'm still here. Goodbye.